Are we in? On?
Yes, you are.
Live?
Yes.
Hey, everybody. This is going to be an interesting day. This is new to all of you, and it's new to me too. This is Brother Tim. Traditionally on Picking Up the Habit, we are on a whole series of new stations, not really, but kind of, sort of. So I'm still catching up, plus also running the pantry and everything else we've been doing. For those of you who are listening, we used to be on Wednesday nights from 5:30 to 6:30, and now we're on Wednesday afternoon from 12:30 to 1:30. Do I have that right, Colleen?
That's right. So same day, different time.
And give me the stations again.
Okay. So 100.1 as always, and 96.9 FM, as well as AM 1270. And then recently we just added on 97.9 FM, which is mostly a peninsula signal. So that's Hampton and Newport News area for that. And then, of course, we're always streaming online at mylighthouseradio.com. People can listen there as well. So I know this is a lot of transitions and different things like that, but we're trying to get as much of the word out there so that people can find that. I've had several requests for new program schedules. We've updated all of our program listings online as well, so people can find that too, because there's new programs and different stations. So if you have any questions when you're listening about that on where to find things, just let us know, and we'll be able to direct you to that to continue with that, and also get brand new listeners, I hope, as well. So
okay, so let's do that one more time. 100.1,
100.1,
96.9.
Yes. AM
90
1270.
What, AM 1270?
And then
97.
97.9. So depending on where people are listening, now I know we have listeners all throughout the Hampton Roads area, because those signals cover, you're talking from, the Eastern Shore up to Williamsburg about and all around in that area. So depending on where you are, if you're in your house or driving around, you might need to change the signal to a different one, just depending. But, if you tell me exactly where you're listening from, I can tell you the best signal to try as far as that goes.
And we should also be on YouTube and Picking Up the Habit on Facebook.
You are.
So,
yes.
Multiple ways. And folks, for those of you who do not know, that is Colleen. Colleen is the station manager for all 4 of those stations we are on, and more so behind that with also WTJZ The Praise.
Right.
So we want to welcome her today. We've got her here to help answer some of the questions. What's going on, what's transitioning, etc. This is a new setup. Normally on Wednesday evening, I'm at the station. We take your call live. We're still going to do that. So if you have any questions about our timing and all that, our number is 757-488-5299, 757-488-5299. For those of you who are new to our program, Picking Up the Habit is a caller-driven show. It is all about you, the listeners. It is all about you, the caller. We've always had 3 objectives. In the past 6 years we've been on, maybe longer, we have had the same objective. 1, to have thought-provoking conversations. We just don't want to talk for the sake of talking. We want thought-provoking. The 2, inspire change within ourselves, within our church, within our communities. And 3, that result in building up the community of Christ. Thought-provoking conversations that result in change in building up the community of Christ. those are the topics we have. Otherwise, it's open game. You call up, and I got to tell you, some of the best shows that we have had have started out with somebody calling up, asking a simple question. I do not purport to know all the answers, but our listeners do. That's why it's a caller driven show. Again, we're going to be here from Wednesdays from 12:30 to 1:30. Basically, you're just going to have lunch with a monk. Lunch with a monk. Maybe that's our new title. I am
Very
Brother
creative.
Tim. Huh?
You're very creative.
Yes. I am Brother Tim. I run Five Loaves Food Pantry out in the Denby section of Newport News full time. We are a 100% voluntary run food pantry, and it's contained within Livingstone Monastery, where I am the abbot. I am an Anglican priest. Our monastery is Celtic. It is not a residential community. We are a dispersed community, meaning the members of our community are all across the United States and Canada. Our affiliates are located all around the world. And we, as a community, reach out in our local areas to do the work of God. So if you have any questions, give us a call at 757-488-5299. Again, 757-488-5299. Colleen, could you help me and help our listeners understand what's really happening on the station outside of adding and subtracting? What's happening with the programming?
Well, we're just looking to concentrate on, real quality programming for our community, obviously adding in the other signal too to strengthen that. Again, and I apologize, my voice is a little not sounding like me today. So just bear with me on that one. But no, we've had some changes. If people are familiar with the ownership of the station or the management of the station here, I've been with this company for almost 24 years now. So, and we have had various stations throughout the years that I've been here, various formats that we've had. And so recently we went through a format change or a format sale, I guess, of a station on one of our sister stations, the Word and Praise 89.1 FM. That was a sister station to us, and that was Christian teaching and talk as well as music. And with that change of programming, we've moved a majority of the programs that were on that station over to the Lighthouse WPMH. And so we had to kind of rearrange our puzzle pieces, rearrange our programming schedule to accommodate those programs and still honor the programs that were currently on the station as well, and just to retain the listenership there and to obviously hope to bring more people to it. 89.1 is a well-beloved station. People love listening to the programs there. And I was glad to say, on a positive side of things, that we were able to retain a majority of those programs. And that's what people wanted. The comments I received were people wanted the ministry program. So I was glad to say, well, at least we have another place that they can continue to get those. And, with the other signal up on the peninsula as well to be able to get that too. So I hope that answered your question. I know, people have a lot of different questions about how things have gone down with all of that. They've asked, I'm still here. I'm still, like you mentioned before, I'm the manager of the stations here. I'm still here. It's the same staff in facilities that we have here at the station. So that hasn't changed as far as that goes. But we really just want to focus on growth and continue to outreach. That is the mission of the station, is to reach people for the kingdom of God, really.
And I think it's great. So folks, here is a rare opportunity, because I got to tell you, Colleen is uber busy. We've got her now for about 45 more minutes. If you have questions about the radio program
or a comment
or desire for other shows,
True.
Now's your time to speak up. Maybe there's a show that you're listening to that you're not so sure about, except for Picking Up the Habit, of course.
No complaints there, right?
That's right.
We don't
You
really
now
know. That's
you
true.
have the opportunity to bring it up.
That is true. The thing about radio is, we have no idea who's listening, and that is one silver lining that has come with this changeover, this transition, is that I got to hear from a lot of people with their gracious thoughts and appreciation for the radio ministries and the programs here. Because with radio, you don't really see people unless you're out in the community or something like that. You have no idea who's listening on a regular basis. I have no idea who's listening right now, but it's exciting to hear and learn about the different people who are represented by our listenership in all walks of life and all areas of our community, even listening online in various ways too. We have people, I've gotten reports of people listening overseas and different states throughout the country as well. So that's exciting. But yeah, we don't really get to have that opportunity. So here we are to take your comments and your questions. A lot of the time we don't hear unless people really, really don't like something. So it's good to get positive feedback, but it's important to know about the constructive criticism as well, or the comments. We definitely want people to know that we're out there and that we're here still locally in the community. That's another thing too. People want to know, are we here local to as more and more people from, the national side of things, the corporate side of things are taking over different radio entities. They want to make sure that, we're here in the community. And I'm excited to know and to tell you that, we have local programs on that are originating from Hampton Roads. We have many sponsors that are from this listening area, people who are donating to support the ministry of the radio stations as well. So that's exciting too. So again, it's 757-488-5299, 757-488-5299. And we'll try to get you on there as well. We have someone who's commented that they're from California already. So somebody's commenting that they're listening from California. And here's a phone call. So let's see who's on.
All right, folks. So here's the deal. If you've got any questions that you need to ask, give us a call. Check in. Let us know. We are revamping. So our show's not as polished as where it's going to be in a couple of weeks.
Hello?
Yes.
Here, hold on.
All
Caller
right.
on the air.
Hello?
Caller, you're on the air. She's very low. Caller, you're on the air. Oh, she hung up.
Oh, okay. Folks, our number is 757-488-5299. That's 757-488-5299. One of our regular listeners, Valerie, is checking in from California. She's talking to us through YouTube, I believe. So see, there are a number of ways to reach out now within our program and within some of the other programs we hold. Now, Colleen, one of the things that you mentioned is talking about the national programming. Now, I happen to know that you are involved in some of that national Christian programming group, aren't you?
The National Religious Broadcasters, is that what you're referring to?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so how does that work with regards to the local stations? Because I know that when I go around and talk to people, they like the idea of knowing that there's somebody in their own backyard who is providing local entertainment above the national circuit. How does the NRB work? What do they do?
Well, they are an organization that supports, the Christian broadcasting community, whether that's radio, television, and now we're getting into all of the other digital media, podcasting, and those kinds of things. They do. They go to Washington, D.C. and advocate on behalf of religious broadcasters as well when it comes to legal things and against censorship, and making sure that we're able to operate as Christian broadcasters as well as religious broadcasters, to protect us from possible attacks, because that's the reason I think it was formed, I believe, was because there was coming a lot of opposition to religious broadcasting way back when they first formed. I think they've been around 80 years now. So they first formed about then to be able to do that. But many of our organizations, a lot of the programs that you hear on the station are part of that organization, are supported by that. Not everyone, but a lot of them are, as far as the national ministries are concerned. And even, they work with other local people. I know here in our local area, CBN, Christian Broadcasting Network, is a vital part of that as well. They're always there and supporting the programming and the mission and organization of that. So that's kind of the involvement there.
All righty. Folks, again, our number is 757-488-5299, 757-488-5299. To tell you, I'm going to assume that we have a lot of new listeners because we're at a different time of day.
Right.
People are taking their lunch breaks
and this is the first time
from home.
This is the first time you've been on as well. So at this particular time, for the last couple of weeks in this transition, you haven't been on. So this is your first opportunity.
It's my first time to reach you all. Folks, to give you a little bit of background on me, and one of these days we'll drop the whole the whole story, but I am a Anglican priest and a Celtic monk, and I've been involved with Livingstone Monastery since 2009. Prior to that, I did some work in downtown Norfolk for a while. Prior to that, I was actually in Beckley, West Virginia, in jail for 3 years on a drug conviction. I'm not proud of that, but I am not ashamed of it either. I do regret my actions and what happened, but it was through that trial, that tribulation, that I returned back to Jesus, to God. Prior to that, I had been living as a Wiccan high priest for 15 years in this area. So I have a very unusual Christian walk, Christian background. Was raised Christian, Roman Catholic, and did a number of years as an independent Baptist before I moved to witchcraft. The key thing is, folks, is that my relationship with God is renewed each and every day. And it was through my time at prison, I completed 138 correspondence Bible courses and gained a broad spectrum of learning, not just about my own individual faith group, but about many others as well. And I used to do a number of conversations at the station, and there was a producer at that time, Joe Daniel. He and I used to get in these debates. And one day, I don't know if it was you, Colleen, or Mr. Hoot came out and said that would make good radio, and lo and behold, it did.
And you've been doing the show ever since.
That's it. And what it was, folks, is discussing what is happening in our world today from a Christian perspective. Some of our big shows, pistol packing pastors. Recently, I just did some look in preparation. We've had 3 instances in the past 6 weeks where people have gone into churches to shoot. None of the 3 have successfully shot and hit anyone. But we have had shootings in the past and numbers of people killed within the church. And the topic that day was, should your pastor be carrying a gun? Should the people be carrying a weapon, whether it's concealed carry or open carry? I know that there are many churches that allow their ushers, and it is their ushers that are now security. I know some pastors who carry guns. And I'm still not sold on either side of that argument. I mean, you have people that believe that communion is the body and blood of Christ, and it just seems very, I don't know, ironic. I don't know the right word for it, but that he's standing at the altar proclaiming the love of God, that Jesus died for our sins, and that this sacrament is open to all. That even if you were the last one, Jesus would have died for you, would have sacrificed himself so that you might live, and you should come to the table to receive the sacrament and be blessed, but I've got a gun here just in case. I don't know how I feel about that. Yet, the symbol for a lot of church leaderships is a crozier, a shepherd's crook. A shepherd's crook was used to beat animals over the head that were disturbing the flock, disturbing the sheep. Is that such a far cry from a gun? I don't know. But that was the topic. If you want to discuss that, 757-488-5299, 757-488-5299. I'm putting together some information on another show topic. This one is something recent. I've been seeing a lot of YouTube videos, memes, TikToks, I think, about individuals who are, I don't know, becoming people are learning who they are. One was a mayor, one's a public prosecutor, one's a DA, one's a judge. And I'm doing more in-depth research, so no names. But each and every one of these people are engaged in either adulterous relationships or sexual relationships outside of marriage.
We have a caller on the line.
Okay, who's on the line?
Caller, you're on the air.
Okay, good evening to you.
Oh, hey there, young man. How you doing?
Water, or is it mine?
You sound nice and clear.
No, you're not. I'm clear, but you aren't.
Uh-oh. Okay, we'll work on that. What do you have, James?
I hear the superstar in the back. He's clear.
Oh.
Okay. Now, when you made a statement about you wonder what's happening in the world today, I think that the leadership that we have as far as the president is antichrist, not the ultimate antichrist. But to me, it seems like everything from him and everything that's around him is grossly immoral. And I feel that the weather situation that we're having, the tornadoes, the rain, the fires, and all that stuff, I think this is the wrath of God, because I feel that when you see that, to me, the world is talking about making a vote on abortion. They want to destroy one of God's greatest creation. And it seemed to me that how is God going to sustain you if you want to take him out of his life? The void is going to be filled in with the devil. And I think this is what's happening in the world. Because it seems like I can't say everybody, because I'm not going to vote for anyone that's going to authorize abortion, same-sex marriage, anything of the like that is grossly. I know I'm not perfect, but I'm going for everything that I feel that have a hand on that which is righteous. And I cannot support a person, even though I was at a dinner and a person was saying, well, it's not me that's doing it, so they're going to be accountable. But I said to myself, if a person get me to take them to a bank, say I want to get some money, and I don't know that he gonna rob the bank, but if he come out running, say, hey, where I'm gonna go? I said, I hurry up and go because I feel that he might want to go to the bathroom. Lo and behold, he don't rob the bank. If the police come and catch us, both of us going to jail. So I feel that you have to take a stand personally for that which is right. But if you don't have Christ, you don't have what is right anyway.
So, James, let me ask you this. I understand where you're coming from and have thought the same way. And I've told many and many of the kids that I mentor that I have not voted for anyone in years. I voted against people and voted for, but not for that person. As a Christian and you not voting, don't you feel like you're giving up and putting ourselves in the hands of the enemy?
I agree. I grossly agree. Because I feel that you go ahead.
And you feel that that's an appropriate response that we should take?
I think a person should make a decision, and you make that decision by casting your vote. But I feel that your decision should be embracing that which is more righteous than the lesser one that's embracing unrighteousness. But I think we're at a stand today that people don't want Christ. And when you take God out of your life, chaos is in the way.
Well, I hear you, James.
I think that more of the weather is going to be problematic in this world because, if you pray to God and ask Him for forgiveness, He will heal the land. So I think that you don't have to be on your knees, but your voice will go up to the Creator.
Amen, James. Thank you much. I appreciate it, buddy.
May God be with you.
And you as well. Folks, you're listening to Picking Up the Habit here on the Lighthouse Radio Network. It's that top of the hour. We have some dues that we need to do. Render unto Caesar that which is Caesar. It's the top of the hour. You're listening to Picking Up the Habit. I'm Brother Tim. We'll be back after we do this station identification and that little FEC stuff.
You're listening to The Lighthouse. As we are pointing the way in Hampton Roads, please remember that the views expressed on this station are those of the speaker and not necessarily those of the station's management, employees, or advertisers. Thank you for listening to The Lighthouse.
Actual client review of Hartman Dentistry.
I just want to say that I just went to Dr. Hartman, and she is absolutely wonderful.
What did you think when you walked in? Did it just feel like it was a relaxing place to be?
Yes, it's very nice, very clean, very bright. You're not sitting in a room with just four walls. The room that I was in, you could see outside.
Did you have a wait before you walked in?
I was there maybe 15 minutes before I got into the office, until I got into my chair, and then maybe another 30 minutes while the technician, did X-rays and all.
And so, are you going to go back and get your teeth fixed the way she says?
I'm going to try. I am going to try because I really trust her, and the only reason I went is because you thought so highly of her.
I got to tell you, I'm in love.
Give Hartman Dentistry a call at 757-873-3407.
Are you waking up with a damp, moldy, or mildew smell? Are you coughing all the time and blaming allergies? Over 30% of your household air comes from your crawl space. Schedule a free crawl space inspection and close your crawl space to prevent those microscopic allergens and spores in your household air. Install the Easy Breathe ventilation system talked about on the Gary Sullivan Show. Replacing that damp air with fresh, healthy air reduces allergens and other indoor toxins. To schedule your free inspection from the Crawl Space Company, call 757-394-3494.
You are listening to W245CK Suffolk, W261DI Norfolk, W250BQ Newport News, and WTJZ Newport News. And we are back.
Hey, everybody, this is Brother Tim. I'm sitting here with our station manager, Colleen. Our number is 757-488-5299, 757-488-5299. Folks, I truthfully, honestly owe a huge debt of thanks both to Worley's Home Services and to Hartman Dentistry. Worley's Home Services has been a sponsor of the show and supporter of Livingstone Monastery and Five Loaves Food Pantry since the beginning. I can't begin to tell you the number of people, referrals that have come from this show that have gotten with Worley's, whether it's their crawl space, HVAC, electrical, plumbing. They have a whole house treatment. The only thing they don't do is shingles. Give Worley's a call, 757-356-4117. That's 757-356-4117. Chuck has his own radio show, The House Whisperer, because houses talk to him. I can't begin to tell you how much knowledge I have gained running a business from sitting down and talking to Chuck, understanding why my electric bill is what it is, or my gas bill, my water, what I can do to lower my bills, to make my house, or folks, many of us don't even own, we rent. How can we make our living space more affordable, more protective for us? You need to call Chuck and Chase Worley. Chase is his son, picking up the family business. Worley's Home Services, they're great, they're awesome. I can't begin to sing their praises. They have done wonderful things for us. They have done wonderful things for others. And we're starting to get into those weird, well, let's face it, our temperatures are always weird around here, but we're starting to get hot. Get your HVAC checked. You need to get your HVAC pipes, your air ducts dusted and checked. Friend of mine just had theirs done. They found out that there had been some mold growing in one of their coils. And guess what? That solved all the problems that the kids were experiencing, why they were getting so sick. Just simple allergies. Sometimes just changing a filter is all you need. But you may not know if you have filters to be changed. Give Worley's a call. They do a free crawl space inspection. And let me ask you this. Where do you think the air is coming from that you breathe in your house? If your house has airtight windows, airtight doors, and it's wrapped in plastic, it's got to come from somewhere. And it comes from your crawl space. Is it dry? Is it damp? Is it moist? Get them to come in. Give a free inspection. Again, that's Worley's Home Services. It's 757-356-4117. All right. Do we have another caller?
Not yet, no.
Our number is 488-5299, 757-488-5299. Now, James brought up a point. The status of our society, morality. as I was going to say in the previous half hour, and for those of you who are not listening, I'm Brother Tim. This is Picking Up the Habit. We're traditionally on Wednesday nights from 5:30 to 6:30. We're now on air from 12:30 to 1:30 every Wednesday. We're going to be having a gathering every hour or every Wednesday for an hour. It's basically going to be lunch with a monk. Bring up the topic you want. We can talk about it. Maybe something happened at your office. Maybe something happened at your job site. At church on Sunday. One of the things our show is known for is bringing up those conversations that you're, I don't want to say afraid, but maybe you would prefer not to bring up at church. Have you ever had that idea that, you go to your pastor to talk to him about what a friend said, and your pastor looks at you kind of funny because he thinks you said it, you thought it? Well, now you can bring it to us. 757-488-5299. We're here to have thought-provoking conversations that inspire change and build the kingdom within ourselves, within each other, and our societies around us. We also have Colleen, the station manager here. Perchance, you might have noticed some programming changes here on the Lighthouse Radio Network, WPMH. You don't know why everything's happening. Now's your time to call and talk to Colleen. Again, our number is 757-488-5299. Now, one of these days, we're going to have a talk when I can get all my ducks in a row. I have been noticing a very strange, happening lately. I have noticed people in authority having immoral relationships being embraced by their church. And when I say being embraced, I'm saying their life of sin has not been addressed. An example, there was a DA recently that was engaged in an adulterous relationship with a married man. And it was not only a relationship while he was married, it was also a physical relationship. And there were a lot of other improprieties around that. I don't care about the other improprieties. I care about the fact that she was carrying on an adulterous relationship, a fornication relationship with another individual, and used her church to proclaim her innocence regarding other issues. And the church backed her up while she's living her life of sin. And I ask myself, when our kids see this, why or what are they thinking? What are they thinking when they see this? When they hear that this individual is cheating with another individual on the marriage, what is that saying to our kids? There was no repentance. There was no confession. Plain and simply, this person was living a lifestyle that they thought that was purely fine. There's a mayor in another city, single individual, engaged in a physical relationship with another individual, using their church in the name of God to declare their innocence on other matters while they're engaged in this immoral relationship. Why are our churches embracing these people? What is it saying to our children? Our number 757-488-5299. 757-488-5299. I'm going to bring one up. And I don't want to talk politics, okay? But we've had people involved in our politics that have been caught in lies, caught in immoral activity, illegal behavior. Don't care who, what side of the party does not matter, because all of them have had children, minors at the time they've been engaging. And I constantly ask myself, what are they teaching their children? What are they teaching them? So that when they grow up, why should they tell the truth? I often wonder if any of their quote unquote kids are smart alecks. Well, Mom, I lied. You lied too. You got in trouble for it. So why can't I? I think it is something we need to address as a church. Our number is 757-488-5299. 757-488-5299.
All right, you have a caller.
Oh, okay. Who would that be?
Caller, you're on the air.
Hello, my name is Herman Fonville from Virginia Beach. How are you guys doing?
We're doing fine, Curtis. What would you like to add to our conversation?
All right, so first of all, just the kudos on your new time schedule. I was one of the listeners from the evening schedule, and I have adjusted to tune back into you guys. And when James was on earlier, he spoke a couple of things about voting. And my conviction with voting
Sure.
is that we have a moral responsibility to vote because so many people could not even vote if we go through our history. There were people that couldn't vote because of their color, because of who they were, where they were from. Voting was not always a right that we have had. And now that we have a right, and now that we have the ability to vote, I think for me, it's more of a moral responsibility to work through the candidates. And I think the concept for choosing a candidate could even come from Exodus, where the midwives have been given a commandment to kill all of the male child because the Pharaoh has said that the Hebrews were becoming too many. We need to slow down their growth. So what I want you to do is to kill all the male children and let the women children live. And they made a conscious decision, not because, Pharaoh was king and they understood that. They understood they could have been killed for not following him. But they made a decision based on their fear of God. And so for everyone out there that is trying to decide, who should I vote for? Your first vote should be for Jesus Christ in your individual heart. And then, because we're not looking for man to settle all of our issues, we're looking for God to settle our issues. And he's going to get us over. But if you have to make a decision, then it has to be because you have looked over each candidate and you have taken a poll over all the positives and all the negatives, and the one that has the most positives would have to be the candidate that you choose because you've done your homework. And no, I would agree, we do not even have a great candidate between the two presidents that we have. But because I know some of my African American people did not have even the right to vote, you best believe I'm going to do my homework and I'm going to figure out based on who has the most positive things and cast marginalized, but I do have a responsibility that my voice is heard because we didn't create the atmosphere for these candidates. You know, we just have a responsibility to respond because that's the way we rule. You know, we have a choice. And so I'd like to encourage everybody on as far as it comes to voting, do your homework and pick the best candidate, not based on what his political background is, but on what he believes is right and what he believes is wrong. And then by the fear of God, you say, God, I don't even like either one of these candidates, but because I've done my homework, this is the way I'm casting my vote. But I want you to know, I know you're in control, but I have a right to vote.
All right. Now, Curtis, just let me ask you this. So you're saying you may not always agree with either or. One may be just as bad as the other, but you weigh them on the issues that are important to you and then vote for that person irrespective of where they sit in the political agenda.
No, not based on me, but based on right and wrong. The concept of their convictions based on what I believe to be biblical convictions, whether they think they're biblical or not. After I do my homework for each candidate, whoever has the most biblical concept that's close to what I believe the truth of the Word of God promotes versus the candidate that have the least amount of truths that line up with the Word of God, and that's where I cast my vote. In fear of God, in fear of God, and the reason I vote is because I fear God, and I choose a candidate because the candidate that I have chosen has represented the more right than the other guy. Just like the women had to choose. They could have said, Fair, well, we need to do what Fair says because he's the president. Well, no, they didn't. And they let the kids live, and the scripture says that they were blessed by God to have families of their own because they feared God. So everything that you do it in the fear of God. And if you do it in the fear of God, it's going to be because you chose a candidate that represents more right, biblical right, than the other candidate.
Curtis, I can't say I disagree at all. I think that what you're saying is fair. And honestly, in the way you're phrasing, you're speaking and all, for a pastor at the pulpit, that's exactly how he needs to preach in order to maintain their nonprofit status. You do not speak against or for any individual, but speak for what is godly, what is right, and you will lead your people correctly. Good job.
Absolutely. And this is Herman, not Curtis.
Oh.
I've talked to Colleen a couple times. I told her I want to be on your show at least once.
I called you today.
Yeah.
I called you and left a message.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Okay, I got you this morning. Thanks, Herman. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we'll talk to you later. All right, folks, you're listening to Picking Up the Habit here on the Lighthouse Radio Network. We're normally here. Well, no, we were here from 5:30 to 6:30. We're now on 12:30 to 1:30. You're going to have lunch with a monk. You take your lunch break, tune us in, sit back to have thought-provoking conversations that inspire change and build the kingdom. That's our purpose. We're a caller-driven show. You can listen to us on, let me see if I got this right, 100.1 FM, 96.9 FM, 97.9 FM, that's new, and 1270 AM. Did I get those right, Colleen?
Those are right. And we also are streaming at mylighthouseradio.com or WPMHradio.com. So either of those, you can catch us there too.
And our show is also on Facebook and YouTube. Right. So you can communicate a variety of ways. Valerie listens to us, a regular listener from California, enjoys our conversations and discussions. Again, folks, we're a caller-driven show. We're here for you to discuss those things that you think need to be discussed in order to build the kingdom. Our number 757-488-5299, 757-488-5299. Folks, every day I look at the news, listen to what's going on, and I think about what to do for the show that week. If you have ideas, drop us a note on Facebook. Again, my name is Brother Tim. You can find me on Facebook. You can find our pantry, Five Loaves Food Pantry. We can have discussions off air if need be, but on air is great because that's when others get to listen. That's when others get to grow in their relationships with God. Our number is 757-488-5299. I don't have to believe the exact same things that you do. I think it would be nice. I do happen to believe that there is one holy church. I do happen to believe that it is universal worldwide and that it is apostolic. But these days, I mean, what is it I heard? We've got 35,000 denominations in the United States. You'll always hear me say that the Protestant Reformation was Satan's greatest win, because it was there that people began to break away and do what they thought was right. And here is my problem with that. If it was right with God, then why is everybody else continually breaking away? To the point now where it is very acceptable to say we're non-denom. And what does that mean to me? It means whoever's running the church is right and everybody else is wrong. That's what non-denom means. My viewpoints are my viewpoints. They're not the viewpoints of anyone else. And I'm going to do things the way I see fit. Or we, a small collective, are going to do the way things are. But as Herman said, we've got to do what the Bible says. But Paul says this. Peter says this. What does God say? That's what we're here to discuss. And lots of times in our discussions, we may find out that what Jesus said is not what's being taught. Then again, there are a lot of things going on in our world that Jesus did not address specifically. But there are a lot of things that Jesus did address specifically that we've chosen to ignore. And it's tough. How do we take care of the individual that's continually living in sin? Here at Five Loaves Food Pantry, the number of people that come in that are continuing to live in a life that would not be pleasing to God. How do we minister to them? How do you minister to them? Before we go, I need to give a shout out to Hartman Dentistry. Hartman Dentistry has been with us for about 5 years now. And Vanessa Hartman, Dr. Vanessa, she is amazing. She's not only a dentist, she has a PhD of dentistry. What does that mean? It means very simply, she knows what she's doing. In fact, she's the one that teaches dentists to be dentists. So dentists are DDSs. She's a PhD of DDS. You hear about all these new procedures. She's one of those people that do create those procedures. She has an in-house dental lab. You can go in the morning and leave that afternoon with a brand new grill. I love them to death. It's the first place I've ever walked into that was a dentist that when I walked in, I actually became calm and relaxed. Never have I experienced pain. I've experienced wonderful patient care and treatment. Hartman Dentistry, give them a call. Now, I'm going to tell you, they are often booked solid, but my listeners have a heads up. You know, many people have to cancel appointments, and when they do, our listeners are on the top of the list. You can often call that morning and be in that afternoon because somebody canceled. You need to give them a call. Tell them you listened on Picking Up the Habit and that you want to be placed at the top of the list. Our number is 757-873-3407. 757-873-3407. Let them know that you heard about them here on our show, and they will place you at the top of the list. And next time there is an opening, they will call you and get you in as soon as you can get there lots of times. Hartman Dentistry, a great place to bring your smile back. And you want to know, folks, I didn't realize how much I didn't smile until I started smiling. Give them a chance to bring a smile back to your face. Hartman Dentistry, Dr. Vanessa Hartman, 757-873-3407. All right, Colleen, how long do we have left?
You only have about three and a half minutes.
All right. So what do you think these people need to know about our shift change, about the programming change?
Well, I'm excited that you have several of your regular listeners have found you as you moved. That's not always an easy thing to communicate to people, especially when they're creatures of habit. So, now you are on every Wednesday, 12:30 to 1:30, hoping that we'll add some more listeners to that as people get used to the new schedule for the radio station. If you are listening and you want to know what the program schedule is, you can go to the website, mylighthouseradio.com. The website is updated there with the program guide, and it links to everyone's programs there. So if you have, you found a new program, or you're just tuning in even to Picking Up the Habit, you want to find out more, we've connected it to his to the Facebook page, for Brother Tim's Facebook page, Picking Up the Habit, so you can engage there and find out more information. But yes, remember that you can get us on all of those different frequencies. And if you can't remember the numbers, let us know. We'll get you those. It's 100.1 FM, 96.9 FM, 97.9 FM, and AM 1270. All of those stations.
All right, folks. We got to be signing off here. May God bless you. May he keep you safe. May he give you traveling mercies and watch over all that you hold dear. May he be with Jerusalem in this time, and may he be with the United States of America. Through Jesus Christ, we ask all these things in his name, because we are proud to say we follow him. I'm Brother Tim. You've been listening to Picking Up the Habit, having our lunch with a monk. We'll be back next Wednesday at 12:30. Have a nice day. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye. Maybe.